We owe a great debt to our forefathers that laid the groundwork and the framework for us to live in Utah. You know, this water supply is very important. The district does a great job of supplying water to many of the residents of Utah. And Lee's legacy is that he has put that infrastructure in place that will serve generations to come.
I've never known him to be anything but a complete professional. I found him to be an engineer's engineer.
Well, I met Lee when he was about 11 years old. As I was coming down the canyon, I could see this large bulldozer working. As I got closer, I couldn't see an operator. Finally, when he turned to stride, I could see Lee. He was standing up behind the air filter, and he wasn't as tall as the air filter on that tractor. Later, I found out he was interested in my oldest daughter, and then later they eloped.
Lee had a full head of blonde hair. So that has been a few years ago. Lee at the time was going to school at BYU in engineering, but he was in the summer, he was working out on the project, running heavy equipment. He's one of the best technical engineers, and in my career, I've had the opportunity to work with literally thousands of engineers. Lee is right at the top.
You did well when he gave you a smile. I mean, it was just like, he was so serious at times, and then once he actually got that smile, like, okay, I did all right.
Lee's the reason I wanted to be an engineer. In all the projects I ever worked with him, he was always the man to make it happen. If Lee approved it, you knew it was going to work. Somebody asked a question or a problem concerning engineering or whatever, if Lee said, no, that's the way we need to do it, that's the way we did it, and it was the right way, and it worked.
I gotta say, I love his emails. They're real short, and they said, take appropriate action. And I learned real quick what take appropriate action means. He was always looking at with the end in sight. And I think that's how we were able to accomplish so much in a short amount of time.
He wore suits a lot back then. And it's kind of interesting because as I got to know Lee better and through the years, I more often came to see him in jeans and cowboy boots and a construction hard hat. And I think he was most comfortable in that attire.
Lee Wimmer was Alpine City's engineer, and even from back then, I was always impressed with Lee in the fact that he was the type of an engineer that was a very good listener.
He had a unique background of coming from a construction family, as well as having the formal training in engineering, and then having the experience of working for Los Angeles Water and Power and working on big projects. And many of their projects were being developed with best management practices in design and engineering. And from that experience, he was able to bring that into consulting and have the experience of helping communities meet their needs.
I think Lee is a very rare individual in the fact that he could do it all. But he was able to take a federally created project and work together with Bureau and Department of Interior and other resources and then create a network of water so that there's storage and there's conveyance and all the way down to your tap.
He's truly, to me, a Renaissance man. He can do it all. I truly believe that we would not have been able to build what we built under CUPCA without Lee Wimmer.
The twin vortex shafts at the Upper Diamond Fork structure have to be one of those things where I'm not sure if I would have had the guts that Lee did to do what he did. The structure was built, it works fabulously.
Well, you know, one of the things that we do is, as engineers is we like to think that we're contributing to the improvement and betterment of society. There is no question Lee has worked on so many projects over the years, from wastewater treatment plants to water treatment plants to major water resource projects, not only in California but here in Utah. Lee has left his mark on this industry and on society. Utah is a better place because of people like like Lee.
He had the ability to think beyond what most other people would have thought about and see how that could fit together with all the pieces to make something much, much better than a simple project starting at point A and going to point B.
Lee has managed the CUPCA program, almost $1 billion in expenditures at less than 3% overhead. He's done a great job as a steward of our nation's dollars. He set a great example of how to deal with each other, how to deal with the contractors, how to build a successful project team, great inspectors, and we're all on the same page working towards a common goal. And so our construction process has been enjoyable. A lot of construction is a fight. Ours is actually a lot of fun. We've really had a lot of fun building the Central Utah project.
To watch him often behind the scenes, especially early on in my career, and see the way that he works as a manager. And Lee's got a way about him that commands respect without being overbearing.
For some people it's difficult to make decisions, especially when you're talking about big projects and a lot of money. But Lee was able to look at the data, make decisions and move forward. And at a time when the district was taking over a very large construction project, Lee brought to the district the experience, the understanding, the ability to direct that construction project in a way that allowed the district to complete, I don't even know how many, 15 or 20 large features of the project, dams, tunnels, pipelines, delivery systems, all the way from the Uinta Basin here to the Wasatch Front.
Lee had a big picture in mind. He understood not only the engineering part of it, he understood the technical part, he understood the financial part, he understood the political part, and where he grew up in the Uinta Basin, he did an incredible job of balancing all those things to make a project that was beneficial and will be beneficial for generations into the future.
One of the things that was unique about Lee is he liked to make very quick decisions for the contractors, and that contractors were always appreciative of that, they kind of knew as they placed their bids they could trust that Lee would be fair with them even after the bids were open. In fact, on Lee, decisions often came within 10 minutes of starting a conversation. So if you sat down in a meeting and you wanted to present facts that would influence the outcome, you better say it in the first 10 minutes because the decision is coming that quick.
From day one, Lee involved the O&M people, from the planning of the projects to the design, the construction, the partnering, and then especially even after construction, Lee would stay with us to work out all the little quirks that come with bringing any new huge construction project or water project online. And he's done it every time in every project.
From the Commission's perspective, Lee was someone who was never satisfied with the status quo. And I think there's probably no better example of that than the Diamond Fork system for delivering water from Strawberry to the Wasatch Front. I think he recognized that, yes, there probably is a better way to do this, to accomplish this.
People for generations will be drinking water out of projects that Lee Wimmer built.
Lee Wimmer has created something here at the district, and it is the concept and the reality that Central Utah Water is going to do things in the right way. And he has created that standard of excellence here at the district.